Welcome everyone to the. Okay, that's the other thing. We don't have a title yet for this thing. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Dan. On the mic, we also have Nick,
Hey.
Tyler,
Hello.
Thomas,
Hi.
Brian,
Hello.
Kirsten. Maybe not Kirsten.
Hold on.
Okay, not Kirsten. And Dan.
You wanted to say something to me?
Damn, go on. Let them know you're here.
Hi,
I
Kirsten.
said hi to you, but I didn't realize you were on, so I just
I
had
didn't
my
know if you were on the
headphones
mic or not. I don't think you are. It's fine. Feel free to interject at any point, Kirsten.
This is a great intro.
And that's the intro. We do have a sponsor for today's podcast, which I will be reading off right now.
We have a sponsor.
Yeah, we have a sponsor. Yep, first one already. We have a sponsor. Okay. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Mystery Meat Incorporated. Tired of knowing exactly what you're eating every time you sit down for a meal? Why don't you try Mystery Meat? With Mystery Meat, every meal and every bite is an adventure. Try their delicious and nutritious meat product that includes flavors of beef, pork, and or chicken. Some say it tastes better than the real thing. I've been cooking with Mystery Meat for weeks now, and I can assure you that no can of Mystery Meat tastes exactly the same. We are offering a special discount for today's listeners. Simply go to mysterymeatinc.com and use promo code CHICKEN to get 50% off your first order. Again, that's mysterymeatinc.com, promo code CHICKEN followed by a question mark. Okay, let's get started.
We already got IKEA sponsoring us. That's pretty cool.
Yep, that's right.
It's a reference to when they served horse meat, if anyone remembers that.
I actually do remember that.
They served horse meat and advertised it as chicken or something. Got in big trouble for it a few years ago.
I mean, like, if you're going to IKEA for, like, to get food, I feel like at this point, like, you kind of deserve to be fed horse meat.
What's wrong with
It's probably
IKEA?
lean. Probably good quality protein. I wouldn't be mad.
All right, so who's got some topics to talk about?
Okay, so first off, Tyler mentioned this before the podcast started about a job he had that he has now, actually, coincidentally enough, about how he can't talk about it because it's involved with government subcontracting work. Well, it just so happens that I, too, have a similar job in the same vein where I can't talk about it. And,
Good talking point.
apparently, it's okay to talk about it. You just can't talk about it when other people are around. So what happened was we were at Brian's party for graduation party. Thomas was there too, and I was just talking to actually Grant, and he was shooting the breeze like, "Hey, what do you do?" And he said he did, and he was like, "Yeah, what do I do?" And like, "Oh, I work for Lockheed Martin." And he's like, "Oh, you probably can't talk about that." And that should have been the first sign. I should have stopped talking right there. But then I was like, no, I can talk about it a little bit. You see, I do missile defense, which technically that's nothing, They told me that at the interview. If they're okay to tell you that at the interview, it should definitely be okay to talk about it like before they hire you. If they talk about it before they hire you, you should be able to talk about it in just general conversation. So I tell Grant, at least I start to tell him, yeah, we shoot missiles with other missiles. And then this guy comes out of nowhere. And apparently this guy's been working for the Navy for 18 years. And he said that I should not be talking about this. And I was like, oh, okay, sorry. And then he kept going. He kept saying, yeah, you really shouldn't be talking about this. I'm sorry. You guys are fine. As in Thomas and Grant. He said, yeah, you guys are fine. This guy over here, you really shouldn't be talking about this. And it was very uncomfortable. And after that, I kind of just walked away. And that was pretty much that.
Join us next week to hear Dan talk about how he was fired from his.
Good time.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because they never really tell you what you can and can't talk about. Like
they don't. They really don't.
Yeah. So just err on the side of caution.
Honestly,
That's good advice for like anything talking on the internet. Like, yeah, you can talk about your life, but like suddenly you'll just if you talk about your life a lot on like a certain forum like Reddit or something like that or YouTube, and suddenly people are commenting that that you don't know, and they know things about like where you live, where you work. It's kind of weird, speaking from experience. And so I've kind of just learned the hard way, even if it's not like sensitive, even if you're just working at like an office somewhere, just don't talk about what you do too much, or else you might get some weird, creepy stalkers.
Of course.
I do feel like it adds to your allure though. If you're like, oh, sorry, can't talk about my job.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
government
bound
stuff.
by contract. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good pickup line at bars.
Yeah, you gotta be like,
Action's going to turn into like them trying to figure out what your job is.
Exactly.
It's
That's
playing
the
Playing hard
point.
to get, I see.
Just go up to people unprompted. They don't even have to ask, and just let them know.
it's like you finally like tell her like, oh yeah, and then she like whips out like a government badge, like, I'm an undercover agent of the FBI. You're under arrest.
That reminds me of the South Park episode with the one cop going undercover at all the parties as a
That
hooker.
was so good.
Goes all the way up after they do the deed. He's like, freeze! I'm a cop.
That's the one where he empties a plastic bag full of semen.
Yes, classic.
Oh, by the way, what's the name? What name are we?
Oh yeah, we actually need to talk about that. So names in contention. On the table right now we have tomato salad and deep toot. And any of the other
That's a pretty
names.
good one.
Wait, what was the
Deep
second one?
Deep
Deep
toot,
toot.
as seen in Fairly Odd Parents.
I feel like in general we should just avoid having the name be something that's like a reference to something else.
That's true.
And
Yeah,
so I propose the podcast be named Kono Dioda.
But that's a reference in itself.
That's original. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How about,
Okay, so let's think of some names, because of the stuff we're talking about is just like us talking, and we're all friends from high school. That could be like part of the name or something.
I didn't know you in high school.
Thomas,
Edit
that
that
makes
down.
this
No
more
one will
difficult than
know.
it needs to be.
Friends from high school and Thomas.
Hold on. I really like this
Not a
vein of-
friend.
I got it. The high school gang plus Thomas.
I love the plus Thomas or whatever at the end. Feet Thomas.
What about dentures?
Yeah, just beach.
Wait. Not all of us were here for dentures, because it was
That's
only
true.
you, me, Tyler, Nick, and Nick's brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I heard
We were
the
also Springford gang at that point.
That's true.
And Thomas is an honorary member of the Springford gang.
Thomas ruins everything.
That's a good podcast name.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what that is?
It's also a reference, sort of.
What's the other? It's actually named on that.
Is it something you've ruined?
It's
Thomas is
Adam
the
ruins
exception.
everything.
That's
is
it. Yeah,
actual.
that's it.
Okay.
Right, but saying someone
Actually, Adam
ruins-
ruins everything is it's sort of on brand for you.
Is it?
Kinda. Not quite.
Actually, that's a meme. He's like glowing red eyes.
But the actually no is in character.
Classic
Yeah.
Thomas.
I guess that makes sense.
How about talking with the exception? The Thomas Janona story.
Well, I mean, I don't think it makes sense to have whole. No, it doesn't make sense for the whole podcast title.
You'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
tell
What it
stories,
should be.
Thomas.
It should revolve around Dan.
I mean, should we
Yeah,
talk
that's
about
true.
Should we talk about the exception thing? Do we
Oh, we
have
can.
any
Yeah, sure.
notable
We gotta
stories?
explain the origin
have
of
any
the exception.
Notable
thing,
stories
the
about how I'm the exception, or is it just like there's too many?
Yeah,
of
you
them?
never played Stratego.
I have
never
played
played
Stratego.
Stratego.
I played it
I
once.
didn't watch SpongeBob,
I did.
uh,
Okay,
Yeah,
I
you haven't
watched.
watched SpongeBob.
but you don't like
I didn't
never even
SpongeBob.
watch it
heard
as
of
a
it,
kid, but I
SpongeBob.
watched it when I was a kid. Okay, I had seen episodes of SpongeBob. I just didn't actively watch it.
You only
That-
saw the movie, if I recall.
No, I
correctly.
saw other episodes. I just didn't like watch Nickelodeon. As
You only saw the David Hasselhoff scene of the movie, if I recall correctly.
No, I saw the entire
Only
movie.
live action, no animation.
No.
I,
Just
I
David
saw the
Hasselhoff
entire-
running on the beach.
No, I saw the entire movie begrudgingly at summer camp.
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 Yeah.
Deep Tootin sounding pretty good right now.
Yeah, really. That's two Fairly Odd Parents references.
Hold on.
We need
Anyone else
a
see
tally.
this? Double T in the morning? Tyler Tripp?
Oh,
What?
double T in the morning. That's
Yeah,
a
I'm
really
looking at
good
your
one.
icon. You don't have a picture
Oh
that
yeah.
says
Oh
TT.
yeah, that's right. I mean, I could get a picture, but you wouldn't like it. So
I mean, I guess the
I-
TT
I-
could get bigger.
then it's just a pi symbol.
Well, that's true, actually.
That's like honestly how I draw when I have to write my initials on something. That's honestly what I do. I just draw pi, and it's like it doesn't matter. No one-
Yeah, it's close enough.
I feel like you can write anything for any kind of signature line, and no one
Oh,
cares.
absolutely. I like just you kind of just like for me, I just like vaguely write a T and then scribble a little bit, and vaguely write another T and then scribble a little bit more and like a little bit longer.
But like, if I were to write David Wiesneck instead of Daniel Wiesner, is it still a legally binding contract? And does anyone care?
Q.
Will they
Taro.
stop me and say, "Hey, I need your real signature, Mr. Wiesneck"?
No one got
That's
my
a good question.
reference.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Would you say
I
Tyler?
said
you guys
I said
look
I said
back.
I said Q Taro.
Oh, that's a good one. Dane Wiesner.
Yeah, Dean. I
Mr.
get
Joe
that one.
stuff.
I can mute people. Okay, interesting.
I think. Can you mute other people or just yourself?
Well, I'm sure it would only mute them for me, but since I'm one of the people recording the audio,
Well, I'm
There was
also
this one
recording
time. There was this one time I was playing
Yeah.
Destiny
Skyfire.
with
No.
my cousin and his a couple of his friends, and we were doing a kind of difficult encounter, and I was under leveled, and I guess they weren't really sure if I was like up up to snuff, and so this guy thinks he mutes me, thinking that it stops me from hearing him, and starts like shit talking me. He's like, I don't know about this. I don't know if Tyler's up for it. He's not very good. And I was like, excuse me, I'm right here. And he just keeps talking. And my cousin's like, I think he can still hear you.
that's interesting. I always thought it was a two-way thing.
No,
Like on
it's
Xbox
Not
Live?
on Xbox, it isn't. Not on
Really,
Xbox,
that's
it isn't.
cool. Man, I need to think
Yeah.
back now.
I don't think it is on most
Conversations I need to
things.
think about.
Oh yeah, if you're just doing it in an Xbox party, I don't think like you can only mute one way. But like if it's, I think it's game chat. I think if you mute them in game, it blocks out both connections. I think. I don't know about that.
That is true.
Okay. That's
I
good.
think that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's when you start cursing out your teammates. They
Yeah.
can't hear it.
And my
Need
prepubescent
a-
teammate who plays Call of Duty, whether or not his parents know.
Oh my god, that reminds me. I got bored the other day, so I started playing Black Ops 4 again. And I only played
They made a
one game.
Black Ops 4?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that was the last one that came out.
Dang.
It's
And
actually
so
pretty successful.
Yeah, that was the one with the Battle Royale mode.
Okay, yeah.
So I played one game of their Battle Royale mode. First group I got thrown into, it was literally, I got dropped in there with one other guy, and that one other guy just happened to be a 15-year-old kid. Not even 15. They were like 7. It sounded like high schooler, like. And what was really annoying was that like I could hear his friend in the background, and they were talking. I didn't bother to turn on my mic because I didn't want to deal with that crap.
Yeah.
And literally, it's just like, yeah, we came over here because we didn't feel like playing Fortnite. And I'm just like, oh my god, go back to Fortnite, please. Oh god. And they kept trying to talk to me, just like, hey, do you want this gun? If you have a good gun, give me the good gun because I want a good gun. Just like,
Why is every 7-year-old like that? I don't understand. Like, I was never like that at 7. I would have respected my elders who definitely hit puberty. I would have
I
never asked them to take my gun.
Actually, Brian, I have a similar story, a little bit more positive. I was playing Destiny the other day, and I got a message from someone on a Discord server that I belong to, and he was asking me if I had a fire team, and I said no. So he joined, and we started talking while we were playing, and at one point I didn't know anything about him. I hadn't spoken to him before, but at one point he mentioned that he had watched his neighbor's dogs and he had just gotten paid for it, and he was he got up away from his computer, went over and got paid, and then came back. Like, they came to his door, and he goes, "Wow, I got a ton of money for that." And I was like, "Oh, really? How much did you get?" Like, he made like $30. It's so much money. And I was like, "You are young."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at that point I had logged into my bank account and it was at like $500, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna starve to death."
Careful, Tyler. You might
When's my
be close
paycheck?
to classified material.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna exploit me.
Just don't say your routing number.
Yeah. However, just in case you guys are curious, my credit card number is
And the security,
Right,
three numbers in the
the
back.
security number.
Yeah.
These are things you
Expiration
need to
date.
know.
Yeah. What's that guy?
Master
Voiceover
Chief.
Pete?
No.
Yeah.
Noble 6.
Yeah.
Is a lie.
Noble 6 has a lie on reach, and he needs your help.
Speaking of voiceover Pete, I swear to God, he voiced one of the training videos at work.
Oh my God.
I swear to God, it was voiceover Pete.
They shelled out like the $40 to have him do it.
Your job needs your help. In order to do that, you need your credit card number.
Yeah, to set up direct deposit, we need your routing number. Born for that job. We should get him on the podcast.
Voiceover
Oh my
Pete.
God.
Yes.
$40.
Wait, didn't he get
Yeah.
banned though? From whatever.
I think I still subscribe to him on YouTube.
Yeah, I think he got his account back.
Let's go.
I'm not sure, though. I've seen stuff from him since then, so I would assume he got it back.
Yeah, he hit that 1 mil mark.
Subscribers.
He has a Dead Space gameplay videos. That's kind
Really?
of weird.
What the
What?
heck?
Each his own.
This guy gets more interesting.
Of all the games,
Yeah.
why is this like 70-year-old dude playing Dead Space of everything? I mean, they're good games, but
Yeah. Like, the only thing that would be weird if it was like the first map playing with everybody. Check it out. Or something super dry like Tetris.
I don't know, dude. That Tetris Battle Royale mode gets pretty intense.
I need to play this.
Is that real?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, it's real.
Tetris 99.
What?
Oh, it's intense.
Do you not know about this?
Do you not know about Tetris 99?
Never heard of it, no.
It's for the Switch.
Oh my God.
It's for Nintendo Switch Online members only, and it's like probably the only really meaningful perk that you have for a Nintendo Switch Online.
Thomas, I saw you liked on Twitter. I saw you liked that one tweet by some Nintendo Twitter account that was like, "We're going to continue making Nintendo Online appealing," and all the comments are like,
Yeah, you have to make
"Continue?
it.
How about
good in the
start
first,
making?"
like, continue making it appealing. It has to be appealing. Yeah. I mean, I like a lot of things, like just kind of because, I mean, if they're going to actually make it better, I'm all for it.
I
No,
don't
yeah,
think
but-
any other platform has a more loyally disloyal following than Nintendo.
Yeah,
Pokemon probably
turns
has
out if
them
you
beat right
defend-
now.
Yeah, it turns out if you defend Pokemon at all, even insinuate that people shouldn't be harassing the devs online, you're a corporate shill and should go fucking kill yourself. Because that's the lesson I learned today. To be fair, I kind of came out the gate swinging because I called them all mouth breathers. I didn't really specify why, so
You give them more air in per breath.
yeah,
see the
I do
problem.
intend to fix that or explain myself a little bit, but I figured I'm not going to reply directly to people who are just going to
What?
spit in my face.
What the fuck?
They're
Stop.
gonna spit in your face.
Yeah.
Wait, what the...
Still no name.
That's true.
Fascinating tangent, but
All right, so back to our original topic. What are we naming this podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, how about tomato salad?
I don't know.
Some salad.
I should have said them.
Yeah. That's our this video is also sponsored by Duralis and Associates.
Yes, we need to explain that one to the viewers.
Yeah.
I'm
Go
thinking his
ahead,
name
Dan.
is Marty.
Take it away.
So I'll explain this one for those of you newcomers listening. I'm going to start from episode 1, if you don't mind.
God damn it.
So there's a show on the internet called Duralis and Associates. It's a fantasy animated show made by some very funny people named Hank and Jed. It's on YouTube. You should definitely check it out. Each episode is only about 5 minutes long. And in like the 5th episode of the show, there is an interchange between the main character, Duralius, and an evil king named...
Callus.
King Callus. And then the interchange is because King Callus keeps mispronouncing Doralius' name as Dorlingus or whatever. So then Doralius gets back at him by calling him stuff like King Phallus and King whatever. And so then afterwards, another character's like, hey, you should have said tomato salad. Just very,
I
very
thought that
nonsensical and non sequitur.
I thought that was a very different episode where they were trying to get past the troll bridge. The guy's name being like Marty or something.
Yeah, his name's... That's a different episode.
That's a different. Yeah, but I thought that was when the tomato salad came up.
No.
He said he delays his tomato salad response, but not by several episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, those of you in the chat listening, tweet at us, give the hashtag tomato salad.
We get some tomato salad
Give me
in
your
the
answer.
chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spam tomato salad in the chat.
I have to admit, I am leaning towards tomato salad solely for the fact that I made the graphic already.
Yeah, I know. That was so good.
That is a pretty
It
good.
was a pretty impressive.
Wait, Brian, how'd you do that?
I went into
Okay,
our
for those
chat.
of you listening to
typed
the
in
audio
tomato
portion
salad.
of the chat,
What?
Brian figured out how to put in a hashtag in the Skype call.
What you just
Yeah, I saw that. That was
Great.
impressive.
not
If you say hashtag, does it appear as a hashtag?
if you say anything in the chat thing, it posts it on the screen.
Ah,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
I was just typing in the conversation.
Skype is magic.
Hashtag deep toot.
Yeah, Deep Toot Gang versus Tomato Salad Gang.
Who's gonna win?
I'm still rooting for Springford Friends and Thomas.
High school gang plus Thomas.
That's like, okay, this is a bit of a reach, but do you guys remember the episode of iCarly where they go to like VidCon, basically, knockoff VidCon, and
Yeah.
people have ship names for Carly and Freddie and Sam and Freddie, and it's SETI and I think I don't know, Ketty, whatever. But it like starts this huge riot. People are fighting over it, and they have to escape, or something along those lines. That's going to be the Deep Toot
I actually
and
don't remember.
Tomato Salad debate.
I vaguely remember that one.
It'll get ugly. Yeah, it was a bit of a reach. Where my iCarly gang at.
That's like the meme. What you got there? A salad or no? A smoothie. Jesus Christ.
A salad?
Dan Schneider gets all of his humor from the toes of young virgins.
Why does everyone talk about Dan Schneider and his foot addiction?
He sucks toes, man. I'm pretty sure he tried to massage. No, I think he did massage Ariana Grande's toes, feet, whatever.
I'm gonna assume that's not true, so I can go to sleep at night.
Hey, you look it up.
No,
First
I
of
don't
all,
wanna
look
look
at his face and tell me he doesn't look like a toe sucker.
I don't want to. Now that you mention, I've never actually seen his face. I just see the
Really?
Schneider Bakery logo.
Yeah, do it right now. I
No,
want
I
to hear
can't.
your
I'm recording.
reaction. to.
Live.
Someone bring it
Dan
up.
reacts to Dan Snyder sucking toes.
That's a video.
What is the appeal of React videos? I never understood that. Who's like, boy, I do wish I could watch someone watching a video and give these like really vague reactions, like, wow, like.
I think it's because, in all honesty, whenever like a normal person like you or me or anyone else looks at something, they're like, "Oh, cool," but they never like show it. The whole reaction part is just to see someone with actual emotion, just whoosh, and then
Well, I know
that's the.
I know there are I can't talk. Like Let's Players that are now like Twitch streamers because that's how they make their money. Like we'll do like they'll watch E3, for example, like on stream. So then like you get like their reactions with you watching it, which is kind of a cool concept, I think. But it also kind of contributes to like the weird thing where like people watching someone like feel this like relationship with them that they don't actually have, and they think they know them.
Mm-hmm. I feel like in that case, it makes sense if they're like some kind of like authority on the whatever.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, like there's a Destiny YouTuber Dado who, if he were to do something like that, I don't watch Twitch, but I would definitely consider watching that just because he knows the game inside and out, and hearing his responses to things, to me, is a like that would actually give some good insight into what was actually shown there.
Yeah. If they do other things and you just like them as a person, you like to watch them, and then they post a reaction video, I think that is acceptable. But if you're like a purely reaction-based channel,
That's kind of
I don't know.
What about like
Kids
the
react.
Yeah.
Yeah, college students react.
Yeah.
That's just, it's kind of pointless.
At least they put a twist on it by making it weird, like old people react to fidget spinners or something cringy like that. But at least it's like, you know.
I prefer Jack's films react to old people react to Jack's films.
That was a great video where he just watched the video in his entirety, keeps his face completely straight. Anyway, speaking of weird celebrity worship, or just like people that have these weird cult followings, something I saw earlier this week that I wanted to talk about. So Kim Kardashian, always a good way to start a conversation. Kim Kardashian, she is trying to trademark the word kimono.
I think she already did trademark it.
She did.
What?
Yeah, and that, I mean, first of all, that's horrible. That's like, don't do that.
Is that
She's
the
trademarked
Japanese
it to make
thing?
underwear, and I'm assuming it's because there's the word Kim in it.
Yeah.
Which again is fucking horrible. But I learned in that, like, reading like tweets about that, apparently Kim Kardashian has more followers than there are people in the entire country of Japan. Think about that for a minute.
So
That's
it's okay.
insane.
Is what you're
That's
saying.
Yeah.
No,
She has more authority than Japan, so
Yeah.
the kimono is hers now.
Of Japan. I just don't get it. Like,
Wait a minute.
who's gonna follow someone like that?
Isn't there like a weird fact out there that like Japan has roughly the same population as the United States, but they filled them all in California?
No, Dan. I believe you and I were in the same class at Brook Elementary.
Oh my god,
Because-
yes, you remember
because
that?
I've
You
thought
remember
that
that.
too, and I remember that. I thought that too. And then when I looked up the population in Japan, it was like that. It was like the one Pawn Stars being like, "Those bastards lied to me."
Do you remember that where you
population-
go? There's the classroom,
Monument.
and then everyone fills into like the corner of the classroom, and that's what Japan, you assume, I guess, is like,
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, it was something like that. Which in hindsight was like, I feel like that's like kind of like culturally insensitive.
yeah.
Okay, now I'll pull your
Your
eyes
student
back.
experience being Japanese. Everyone crowd into a corner. Girls, if you get touched inappropriately, that's just the Japan experience. That's a thing, by the way. I'm not being. It's a thing that happens in Japan because people are fucking.
Isn't there a isn't Isn't this a thing?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So for those of you who weren't looking at the camera, he did that thing where you shove your fingers up someone's butt when they're not looking.
Could
I did not shove them up my own butt. I want to clarify.
You did.
Or
I
anyone
saw
else's
it.
butt.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
Wow.
straight up.
Listeners are gonna miss that. That was class.
Oh, I'm gonna get fired for this.
Yeah, my
No,
only
really,
experience is Naruto. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's just-
that's the only template. That's the only media I've seen that. That's the only place I've seen that. Also,
Maybe we can start the trend up again.
Yeah.
That's like an
Elephant
easy
walking.
million views right
I think
there.
Frats already did
Wait.
it.
We should do like what Kim did and just like name it after ourselves and try to trademark it.
I don't.
Yeah, like okay, we need to figure out something that has like we do it all the time. We have to find something that has Dan in the name and then trademark it.
Dangerous, obviously. Dangerous.
Yeah, but it had but something like cultural, like something cultural.
Something
Like something that I do, or it can be anything.
just that anything, and we need to steal it and trademark it. Or sorry, appropriate it and trademark it.
Right.
All I thought about was Danish.
Oh yeah, I still need to get Danish Thermal Units.
Yes. Flamenco dancing.
That one's that's grasping.
Yeah. Well, we'll put a pin in it. I think it's a good one.
I got it. Square dancing. No, that's a good idea.
It's American. We're not abusing another culture's legacy.
Yeah, we really need to think about how do we just appropriate that culture properly, like Kim Kardashian would do.
Exactly.
I know,
I looked at the lingerie. If I remember correctly, I don't even think it looks like a kimono. Really?
Yeah, it doesn't.
It
It's
doesn't.
just like
Supposed to.
it's
Shapewear.
kimonos are these like
That's what
beautiful
it's-
traditional dresses that I absolutely adore, and she's turning them into shitty underwear. Cool.
I mean, kimonos
Shitty
actually
underwear
look
that
really
probably
cool.
costs $400.
Oh,
How
absolutely.
much is it?
I don't know how much. That's just a guesstimate. Let's find out. Actually, who knows?
Put it in the link dump.
Yeah. This is
Link
also
dump.
sponsored
That's
by
an-
Kim Kardashian's
Yeah,
kimono lingerie line.
for dumbasses.
Pick it up now at your nearest, I don't know, fucking where. Wherever they sell it.
Use promo code Japan sucks to get 50% off your first order.
No, she backed down. Looks like it
Oh,
rats.
dang.
Oh.
Well, here's the
Turns
question.
out you can't trademark single words like that.
Will
Ooh,
Japan now try and trademark it so that they don't have to run into this again?
That's a good idea. Write that down. Write that down.
You remember when Bernie Burns got the site Bernie.com?
Oh
And then Bernie Tasmania, or whatever in Australia, wanted to get it back?
I feel like this is going to include not only a lot of SpongeBob and Doralius and Associates references, but just a lot of references to the RT podcast.
I hope so. I don't know if anyone caught this, but I named myself twice in the introduction.
Yes, I did catch
Yeah,
that.
just
I
a
did
guess.
get that.
Top billing. Always wanted to say that.
Man, so none of you have ever been to Utah, correct?
No, I haven't been.
Heard of it.
It is that is an interesting experience to have. It's like
Careful. Is this classified?
they say, yeah. So Utah. What's Utah? I don't know. Anyway, as it hashtag Utah experience. Thanks, Thomas.
That was me.
Where's that? Yeah. Anyway, it's like because they've got all the Mormons there. They're very nice people. Just get that out of the way right there. Very nice people. Nothing against them. However, it is just strange as someone coming in from this other culture because like especially like Western culture is its own thing unto itself. Like no one's in a fucking rush, and then meanwhile there's me. I'm from the East Coast of the United States, and I'm physically incapable of not feeling like I'm in a hurry. So that's one issue. And then also like for like the other day with some coworkers, we had a game night where we went over to the one guy's house, actually his brother's house. He was with his brother, and we were playing games, and I had a car games kind of like Avalon, which I might want to get for a similar experience, but I had a heated gamer moment, and I exclaimed, "Oh my god, these cards!" Because they were just very unlucky for me and lucky for someone else. Well, I was very quickly reminded that I was in LDS household and that they don't say the G word there. Which, I mean, obviously there's other Christian cultures that kind of stick to that, but just like having it be very like very much enforced was a strange experience. And like obviously I apologize. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was just this, it's very weird. And then the whole state kind of has that feel to it where you just feel like these like touches of the LDS church in basically everything you go to. And it's just very different. It's not something I was expecting when I moved out here.
What does LDS stand for?
Latter-day Saints, the Church of Latter-day Saints.
Is that the Mormon church?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know why it's called Latter-day Saints, Dan?
Because
I guess
they
not.
like ladders, like to climb.
Yeah, ladder
Like a
guy. Ladder
I got
god
this
is
ladder
their deity, actually.
Did we ever get to ladder guy in the Rally Association?
Yes, we did.
I
We
think
got-
I've seen
we got
ladder guy
past ladder
4
guy.
times.
We got to Thesaurus.
Oh, we gotta go back to the first episode and check.
Yeah.
Make sure we didn't miss anything. We'll say about the Mormons, they know how to pick their land. Like, they basically just got to pick where they wanted to settle. And Utah, very beautiful.
It is. That is a beautiful state. I've gone hiking like every weekend. Every time it's just like I'm just stood in shock at points. Like, oh my god, these mountains are gorgeous. Kind of in a drought right now. I didn't know this that the Great Salt Lake is actually like drying up pretty rapidly.
Oh.
Because all the salt.
Yeah.
It's absorbing the water.
It's just gonna become the Great Salt Pile.
Yeah. The Great Salt. Forget lake.
Thomas, you're tapping.
What's going on over there?
That's Thomas doing his classic leg slap.
Was it?
Some ham boning.
What were you doing?
Thomas just died.
Rip.
Thomas, if you can hear us, blink.
Wait, what? That's not a word.
Like, he can hear it.
Yeah. You just say
Works
the
every time.
impossible, and Thomas denies it.
Technically, blinking would make a sound, but it's so like insignificantly quiet that you wouldn't be able to pick up on unless you had like a microphone, like a really tiny like contact microphone, like right next to your eye that was sensitive enough to capture that sound. And I don't know what the purpose of capturing that sound of blinking would be.
Attach symbols to your eyelashes.
That's the music
I think it's
technology
similar to the
major
sound
in
of-
him talking.
It's gotta be similar to the sound of one hand clapping.
Wait, no, stop.
Which is not at all similar to the
That's a-
sound of a tree falling in the forest when no one's around to hear it.
It's
Fairly
still
Odd Parents.
sound because it's a tree.
AJ has a stroke trying to answer it.
That's where his brain just collapses.
Yeah, his face falls off.
Now that I think about that, that's horrible.
Remember, kids, there are only 49 states because North and South Dakota agreed to make one big Dakota.
Wow, we need a running tally of all Fairly Odd Parents references. I think we're up to 6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rally's
probably.
at 3. Rooster Teeth is, I think, at 2. The Mormons are at 1. So
The Mormon references. Speaking
yeah,
of references,
I've got a Mormon story. To share.
Oh,
I've already said it, but this is a good story. It's the story of how I got my Mormon Bible. It reminded me that I guess the fact that Tyler's in Mormon land. I'm not sure if that's okay to say that, but
I mean, it's accurate.
Has
Thank you,
anyone
Brian.
asked if Tyler's gotten visits from Mormons?
oh, that's a good.
Oh,
question.
yeah, a couple of them came to my door looking for. They actually weren't looking for me. They were looking for someone from their ward, which is a Mormon thing. It's like a group of like young Mormon single people that live together. The implication: hey, go find a Mormon husband or wife, whatever
No,
you think is the
interesting.
gender. But yeah, so they were looking for someone from their ward, and they thought they were at my house, my apartment, and I said no, and then they had this like a box of cookies, and they're like, "Oh, well, do you want a cookie?" And East Coast brain set in, and I'm like, "There's like roofies in these cookies, or
Yeah, the Mormons are
they're about to like barge, like try to like force their way into my house." And so I was like, no, I don't want a cookie. I just shut the door.
Do you live with anyone?
No,
That is so weird that
Are you sure?
It's not that surprising considering it's Tyler.
Just considering like how many times people come to my door asking about any religion for that matter. I
I feel like
this-
Mormons wouldn't go on their mission in the Salt Lake Valley. That's literally preaching to the choir.
that is
Well,
true.
yeah, if you're talking about the same thing, if you want to mix up the story a little bit, have some fun with it, add some pizzazz.
That reminds me, ties perfectly into my story of how I met the two Mormon missionaries in State College, Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah.
Elder Lynn.
So for those of you who don't know, it was literally the day that we had the career fair, and I was dressed up in my suit, and it was very uncomfortable, and I just wanted to go home, and I took the bus, and I was waiting at the bus stop, and these two girls come up to me and like, hey, and you could tell that like, something was up with them before they even like started talking. Like they were like, when you can like look at someone, they're kind of like looking like they're looking for a conversation.
No,
Like-
I mean, Dan, it's like a well-established thing that there is a like Mormons put out like an aura, like my friend who's ex-Mormon. He and other ex-Mormon people at my work have spoken before her. You can just tell. He said like the first time he ever saw like Lindsay Sterling, the violinist on YouTube. He said the first time he ever saw her, he knew nothing about her. He was like, she looks super Mormon, and he looked it up, and she is super Mormon.
That explains
So-
why she's so good at
But
something.
I did not know. I did not know they were Mormon before they came up to me. I just knew like they want to talk about something. They even had name tags. That was the other thing.
That should have clued you in. No,
Yeah, I should have set off some signals. Just like, oh my god,
signals were going off, not Mormon, okay? But then they opened their mouth, and then I could tell they were Mormon because they were like, "Hey, do you want to hear about the Book of Mormon?" I'm not even sure what. They asked me about the Book of Mormon. They then handed me a copy of the Book of Mormon. They then asked if I wanted to join a Bible study so I could get connected and talk to more people about the Book of Mormon. And that was all before I even got on the bus. And I was feeling just very uncomfortable up until that moment. And then it was a packed bus. Everyone was standing on top of that. So then I was standing on the bus. You know how this is going to be a great part of the story. But you know how when you're on a bus and you want to hold, and you're standing up and you want to hold onto the thing so you can actually like hang onto the bus.
Yeah,
and then
right.
there's those things, and then there's the little like
loopy thing.
the rope hole things that you use to pull yourself up. I guess to stand up, because you can't hold on to those things because they move around and you're gonna fall over. Well, me again. Remember, I'm in a suit, and a very stiff suit, and I'm sweating, and I'm feeling very uncomfortable on this bus, and I am inches away from these two Mormon girls who are still trying to talk to me about this, and I just want to go home. And like I couldn't even reach the stupid top bar, so I had to just get the stupid loopy things. And then, of course, as soon as the bus starts, I fall over, like just barely holding onto the stupid loop thing, and I run into another guy. Like I bump, just literally fall into him. And he's like, "Whoa, hey!" And he's like, "Man, that was quite a catch you had right there. Man, I want to talk to you." And at that point, I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, is he in on this? Is he also Mormon? Like, he was not at the bus stop. And I know he was.
Is this the second or third encounter with Mormons you
He
had?
was not even with them. I don't. No, that's right. I was really suspicious because he had a book in his hand too. And I was like, that's it. I'm getting off the bus. And like, I had to wait to like. The whole reason I took the bus because I was halfway across campus. I just got off at the next stop and walked 20 minutes. It was so. Oh my god. That was that was the first real experience I had with the Mormon people, and since then the last. But I did get to keep a souvenir. I still have their Bible. Have not read it yet. Kind of looks long and boring, just like the real one. Not to imply that the Christian Bible is the only one in real Bible, but
Wow,
it is.
it's a nice catch. We should call this. We should call this podcast the Latter Day Podcast.
And Thomas.
The podcast of the latter day dick.
Tyler, that is sort of
Get more
cultural
than Mormon
appropriation,
stock on
so
your
it works.
That is true. The Cultural Appropriation Podcast.
The Latter Dan Saints.
Yes, there we
Yes.
go. Yes.
There we go.
This is the breakthrough we've been waiting for.
Yes.
I feel like this is not
Yeah,
a
actually.
good idea.
The Latter Dan Saints and Thomas. That's the name. Yes, there we go. Oh, you know what? You know what we should have said? Tomato salad.
Full circle. We're going with tomato salad.
I still feel strongly about Deep Toot.
We have had a lot of Fairly Odd Parents references, I have to admit. A surprising number, as a matter of fact.
I know. Normally it's SpongeBob.
Yeah, normally it is SpongeBob.
I hear enough SpongeBob references at work. Please.
Yeah, according to Thomas, the references he hears at work are mainly different from the ones that we use, which I'm interested now to hear those references.
They're
I
normie,
don't
I bet.
remember them. I don't remember all of them.
There is a very active culture at my work of referencing Jurassic Park.
Really?
Yeah, of all the movies, that's my favorite movie, and so that's fun. It's funny because my work, like, they're not like. It's gonna make me sound like super lazy, but there are times at work where I'll go an hour just like.
Whoa. This could be classified.
Yeah, just like shooting the shit with the guy that I share an office with, because he and I were friends before I got the job, and so because of that, he and I will talk about our shared interests, mostly anime, and then also we had like a 2-hour conversation about The Witcher 3 on
Yes.
Wednesday. Yeah. But yeah, and then like people will come into the office. You squad. Yeah. But like then people will come into our office because he's been there for a while now. And he's got a large group of coworkers that he is friendly with, and they'll come in and just like chat with us about like all different kinds of like space or music or like life and stuff. But it's funny because then like I feel so bad. Like I'll sit there and like talking with them and I keep looking at my screen like I should really be like doing this work, but it's just funny how much downtime I have thanks to that. I should say. I still do my work, of course. I'm not a mooch, I swear.
You know what's funny? My desk mate, I guess you could say, he's kind of like, I guess, nerdy guy, I guess you could say, but also pretty cool because he's very knowledgeable about everything he does, and not just in work, but also like just very knowledgeable in life in general. Like he has a side job flipping houses, and he has a website where he. Oh, cool! It's me again. It sounds like Nick left. Oh,
Yeah, Nick. No.
He must have heard the story already. But, anyways, you would never guess it from looking at him, but you may guess. Oh, there goes Thomas. Okay. Well, he must have heard the story too. But anyways,
are people dropping out or?
I
think
don't know
they're
what's
dropping.
happening.
They didn't even say bye. So
Yeah. I think Thomas was eating.
I'll just continue the story anyway. And the best part is my face is now full screen again, which makes me very happy. Anyways. Oh, yeah. So my desk mate.
Oh, Nick's back.
There's Nick.
Welcome back, Nick.
What happened?
Laptop died. Skype absolutely munched on my battery. I wasn't even paying attention.
Oh shit, you're right. I should plug mine in.
That must have happened to Thomas at like the exact. Yeah.
Everyone listening, please check your laptop batteries. You don't want it to die. This has been a PSA.
This episode of the Deep Toot podcast has been sponsored by AC Power Supplies.
Please remember.
So-
to plug
my
in your
desk
laptop.
I'm on here from my phone because my internet just crashed.
So what about
Oh.
the recording?
Weird that happened like
That
at the
is
same
kind of
time.
bizarre.
Oh, did that happen to somebody else?
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
My battery died.
Well, my battery didn't die. My actual internet is freaking out right now.
So
I
what
know,
happened
but
to
we
the
both
recording?
just got dropped.
But
What happened to the recording?
it randomly stopped around 29 minutes in, so I'm just gonna give up on it.
Oh
Okay.
darn! It missed all of our fun Mormon talk.
No, hold on. I still have double recording, and yeah. No. We have recording and backup recording, and the audio
Turn
only
subtitles back
cuts
on.
out some of the time from people talking. Anyways, my desk mate apparently years ago, like in the 2007 to 2009 era, played Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube, and he organized bi-weeklies in New Jersey, and he met Mewtwo King because Mewtwo King was from New Jersey. And apparently he hates Mewtwo King, and now he also hates Super Smash Bros. Melee. I don't know why.
Speaking of mockumentaries,
Oh.
Dan, shamelessly plug yours.
For those of you listening to this podcast, make sure you check out 2 Keyboards, 3 Screens, and Milkaholic, and my next video coming out in, I believe, 2 weeks, which Brian actually is probably going to be in.
Yeah.
He had a cameo. That
Hey
I filmed
Dan,
at his
here's a
party.
question.
Yes.
So my friend who I share an office with, he actually has 3 screens and only 1 keyboard.
Interesting.
Oh, rookie.
So how's that like? What would you say that ratio? Like, how's that ratio?
It's an unnecessary amount of screens.
Obviously, he needs
It's
4 more
disproportionate to the
keyboards.
number of keyboards. Like the ideal ratio is 2 keyboards for every 3 screens, I would say. And then
What?
so if you
I always
have like
felt like if I
3
just add,
screens,
I always feel like if I just add one more keyboard, one more screen.
So
So if you just have
Combination.
66% of a keyboard for one screen, that's the magic number.
I really. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, no, Dan, based on that video at your internship, you had a laptop as your work computer that you just plugged into like a docking station. Now, at your real job, do you have like an actual desktop computer, or is it the same system with laptop?
It's the same setup, except I think I only have 2 screens. I don't have 3 screens.
See, I actually have
But-
like an actual desktop computer, which I was shocked about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's classified, so you can't talk about it.
Oh yeah. It's real shitty. It runs on
But
freaking Windows
if
7.
I were to talk about you see, Tyler, if they get a hold of that desktop or number of keyboard and number of screen technology, the terrorists are going to win. Okay,
It's
it's just a
true.
fact. But I will say this: I'm very excited because I started with 2 keyboards, 2 screens. One's a laptop screen and keyboard. The other's just an external keyboard and external monitor. But good news, my card reader broke, which means I had to get a new keyboard, which means the keyboard had the card reader, which also means I now have 3 keyboards and 2 screens, the sequel to the original 2 keyboards, 3
boy.
screens. But unfortunately, not only can I not record in the office for obvious reasons, I'm also just in general, I'm not sure if this is the same for you, Tyler, but we're not allowed to have our phones in our office at all.
Dude, that
Serious.
sucks.
Like if you
That sucks for you. I'm
It's
on,
fine,
I'm on my
honestly.
phone like half the day.
It's actually kind of nice not to have it there after a while, but it is really like it takes some time getting used to.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it's like a secure. Let's probably not go into that.
Yeah, it's not a
We can talk about it
productivity thing. It's definitely like you can't take pictures at all of anything, so that's why they do it.
Yeah, we have a similar thing, except they don't care if you have your phone. Just don't take pictures or video. Yeah, like that first day, I sent you guys all a picture from inside my office because I walked in and they had my friend had written the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to be continued arrow. I took a picture of that, and when I showed it to him, like, haha, you wrote this, because he was away on a business trip when I started. I sent this to him, and he goes, yeah, by the way, don't take pictures in the office. I was like, oh.
You know, the ban of phones is definitely because somebody took pictures or video.
That or they probably just can't take the chance.
Oh, here's a question, Tyler. Can I take pictures or video at your office? Because I don't work there. You know,
I'd be impressed if you could get in, but
piggyback.
You aren't an employee, so I guess you aren't bound to that rule.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
We'll
I ain't
see.
signed no contract.
All right, that looks like a road trip plan.
Next
true.
YouTube video.
It's next week when we're all taking a video inside of Tyler's office.
Yeah.
Breaking into Tyler's job.
Dan gets
Dan, when are you gonna
arrested.
start making challenge videos?
What kind of challenge?
Like those
half.
like stayed up at 3 a.m. challenge and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
you know,
that's a
like
good
those,
idea.
like,
I have.
horrible clickbaity stuff.
That's a good idea, actually.
That might actually help your channel kick off if you do
No,
clip it
actually,
like that.
that's a really good idea. Oh my god, yeah, no, actually, I do have an idea. My very first idea would be the birthday challenge. It's where you literally eat, you know, I'd have to do it on my birthday week.
Oh yeah, the
But
entire birthday
you eat
cake.
nothing but cake, cupcakes, brownies, and cookies,
And ice cream.
and ice cream. And you can only drink water, milk, and soda for an entire week.
For an entire
We already know
damn.
you
Yes,
can
we-
eat ice cream. We already know you can eat ice cream.
No, but like, so you have to live off of only sugary
Sugar.
icing foods. For
Freshman year of college, I lived off chicken tenders for like
no,
almost-
chicken tender, that's protein and
Yeah, but it was
meat.
just chicken tenders. Literally only chicken tenders.
Are you saying that you could do the birthday challenge right now?
I could do
Is that
the
what you're
birthday
saying?
challenge with chicken tenders.
It's not. That's the thing. It's not chicken tenders. It's just. Thank you, Brent. It's just cupcakes, cake,
No, Brian, don't-
cake, cookies, brownies.
F in the chats for the big onion, seriously.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't give me hope.
X to pay respects.
So, should we close out the episode?
That's a good point. But first,
Oh, yeah.
before we finish up, we need to decide on a name.
We do need to decide on the name.
Okay, so everyone at the same time, we're gonna put our hashtags in the
Oh,
chat,
jeez, how
and
do
we're
I
gonna
do this?
decide on a name. How do you do it, Brian?
So I'm literally just in the if you hit the conversation thing down at the bottom,
I don't think
it brings up the down side. You can just type hashtag whatever.
Okay, got it.
When was it?
Okay, now we're gonna submit our answers at the same time. Okay.
A culture like Kardashian.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. My answer is primed and ready. Or are we?
Okay, on 3, everyone.
Okay.
Oh, Nick and I have already done it.
Okay.
No, mine was a joke. Mine was a joke.
Okay. 1, 2,
Mine was also a
3.
joke.
Go.
Wow.
Okay.
This is very thrilling to listen to, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, if
So-
only you could see.
One
So
vote,
the
2 votes for Tomato Salad, and 1 vote for Latter Dan Saints and Thomas.
And 1 vote for fuck you, Dan.
Yes.
We have a 3-way
I
tie.
wrote that one.
Looks like if you split my vote across 2 votes, there's 1/2 vote each. Tomato Salad wins by exactly 1/2 vote.
I actually kind of like Tootin in the Deep, to be honest. It's not a reference. I don't think that's a reference to anything.
Tootin in the Deep is pretty good, actually.
I changed it from deep toot to tootin' in the deep.
Yeah. I'll put my vote to Tootin in the Deep.
Okay.
So it's gonna be really funny when people are watching this episode. When the two people that click on this video are watching this episode, and they see that the name is the Tootin in the Deep podcast, and that we only decide on the name like at the end. It's like, spoiler alert.
No, what we should do is we should then it's like episode 1, tomato salad.
Oh,
Have a different
Little-
podcast name every week.
little controversy.
Okay. Well, we're gonna sign off here. If we want to continue talking, we can do that after I hit the stop recording button. So everyone say bye at the same time, so everyone can hear it.
Thank you for
Bye.
watching.
Hey, see you next time.
Make sure to watch next
All
episode.
three of
It'll be
you.
a lot better than this.
Yeah. And make sure you subscribe to Wheezy. Okay. I'm gonna shut off now. Bye bye.
Okay. Shooting in the deep.